everyone, thanks for clicking onto this video. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, but today I'm coming to you with a glowy summertime makeup look that's gonna wear pretty well, and that's just gonna look really nice and glowy and youthful and fun. Okay, so I've already washed, moisturized, prepped my skin. I use the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Moisturizer with the Broad Spectrum SPF 30. For my moisturizer, I put on the e.l.f. Whoa Glow Sunscreen, again SPF 30. You always want to use your SPF. And then I have the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer. Love this stuff. We're going to try and keep it, drugstore related today. But really, any products that you love that have a glowy finish, you can use. So you don't have to go out and buy any products. If you have something that gives you a really nice glow to your skin, like mine's looking right now, as far as your prep steps, go with that. And if you want some recommendations, those are some of my favorites. So next up, we're going to get right into the eye makeup. I've already primed my eyes with Milani eyeshadow primer. I really like this one for every day. It doesn't keep your eyelids too oily, and it just helps the eyeshadows to stick. I'm going to be using my Black Widow Ulta palette today. It's got some excess glitter on it from a palette that broke, but on the outside. But we're going to start out with our transition, or our brow shade, and that's going to be the shade called Safe House. So that's what we're going to put on first, and I'm just going to take this fluffy blending brush. Again, any of your favorite brushes will do. You don't have to have the exact ones I'm using. These are just what I have. And we're going to just plop that right there, right underneath the brow bone, just to set that and help us blend. And next we're going to go into our crease shade. And we're going to go in the shade called Agent. Right here, it's just a little bit darker than this one. And we're just going to build up that crease. Because the eye look is kind of secondary to what we're doing today. I want my eyes to look good and, to be present, but the eye look is not the main look today. It's just about being glowy and perfected and beautiful. And perfect. And you just want to make sure there's no harsh edges, so if you want to blend with your finger, go ahead and do that. However you like to blend, just do that. And I'm going to take a fluffier brush and just kind of work that over just to make sure the edges are super soft. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade called Fighter. That's deeper than the shade Agent down here. I'm just going in with a lot of mattes right now just to build up that crease. And then we're going to go in with a shimmery shade on the lid after we build up our crease. And then just take your fluffiest brush. Don't drop it on the floor. We're going to take another fluffy brush and just make sure nothing's on it and blend. Beautiful. And if you need to go back in more of your first brow bone color to help it blend, do that. Okay, beautiful. Now we're going to take a small flat shader brush. This one is from Moda. And I am going to go into the shade Relentless. And it's this shade right here. And it's a gorgeous bronzy shade. And we're just going to apply that on the lid. Just like that. And you see how that just makes my lids look glossy? That's what we're going for. And then if you want to do like a little bit of liner without actually doing any liner, my favorite thing to do to get it looking really smoky and sexy is to go in with a dark brown. This one's called Covert. And we're just going to apply that to the lash line with a very small brush. So all you have to do is look down and just apply. And it gives you the appearance of wearing eyeliner without ever having to put on the eyeliner, which is good, especially in the summer months, because it helps with the longevity, because it doesn't melt off as fast as eyeliner can. Now, if it rains and you get wet, it's gonna come off, but if you wanted to put an eyeliner down first and then go over it with this will help with longevity. And then there you go. That's done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in with our base. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I have two shades. I have the shade Fair and I have the shade 2 Fair Light. So I have the shade 1 and shade 2. And I'm just going to do a mix of these because I'm not quite as fair as shade 1, but I'm not quite as dark as shade 2. So I'm just going to apply that like so. And then apply some of the darker shade just around. Like that. Now, I'm also going to mix in, before I blend this out, a little bit of the Misha BB cream, and this is the shade 13, Bright Beige. And this is a little bit cooler, but it's going to offer just a little bit more coverage than the other two shades of the e.l.f. But mixing them together like this will create a really glowy, really perfected base. And you're not layering on too much product either. Now I'm going to go in with a brush. This again is from Moda. And I'm just going to work that into the skin. And so, and don't forget to work it down your neck. Now, it might look like my face is an oily, greasy mess, and it might feel like that for a minute, but that's okay. We want super glowy. But and then beautiful. Now, if you want, you can take your damp beauty blender or a dry one and just go over it just to make sure there's no streaks or anything in it. I like doing this because if you have any excess product, it is going to soak it up, as well as just making sure everything is nice and even and no one place has more product than the rest. Okay. And you can see your face looks very glowy, but not a lot of product is on there. I like the way this looks. I like how it looks like my skin. I still have texture and, you know, you can see my pores, everything like that. But that's okay. Everyone has skin texture. It's a normal thing. I have acne right here and right here. That's all a part of life. You're not going to get rid of it. It's just going to be there. Make sure you don't have any little hairs all over your face, because those will drive you nuts. I know they drive me nuts. There we go. I think I got them all. If not, that's okay. Now, for concealer, I don't like using a very... what we're going to do is use two different concealers. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. And we're just going to use a little bit of it right here. Click it up. Do a little bit on the other side. I never use just the e.l.f. It doesn't offer as much coverage as I like. I'm also going to use the LA Colors Ultimate Cover. And give it a few dots. And again, mix that in. And just apply. I like to blend it with a brush first, and then I go back in with my sponge just to smooth it all out. And I like to bring it up over my nose, because my nose is always super red. And then make sure you get it all up under your eye. And I like to bring it up to my top lid. So, and then I just take my finger and blend it through there, just like that. Now, if you wanted to cover up the, your acne or any scarring that you have that you can still see, go for it. I'm gonna leave mine as it is. I just like the way that this looks. Next up, we're gonna go with blush. I'm gonna use a liquid blush today, and this is the Profusion Cosmetics Blush Hour Soft Matte Blush in the shade Mai Tai, which is a beautiful coral shade. And I'm just gonna put 2 drops. That's all you need, trust me. 2 dots, drops, dots, whatever you want to call them. And let's see, here we go. Blush brush, and just blend those out. Make sure, again, you don't have anything on your face. And blend them out. And make sure it just gets super blended. And then if you want to, go back in with your sponge and just press it in. Looking really glowy, really dewy, beautiful. Next up, if you want to go with contour, you can. There's some options. You can go with cream or powder. I'm going to keep it with the cream today. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer and the shade Bronzette. So it looks like I've used a lot of this stuff. I really like this stuff. Let's see, where's my bronzing brush? Here it is. And I use the Luxie 600 Precision Foundation Brush for this. I just think it works the best. And I just load up my brush and go to town. Hit that little light bulb right here. And then I like to blend it down my neck just because I'm tanner on this side than this side because when I'm driving, and most people can relate to that. You know, you always get more tan on one side than the other, especially in the summer because of driving in the car. Okay, and then just there we go. We look all nice and bronzy. Beautiful. Alright, next up, if you want to set some areas of your face, you can. I am going to definitely set like my nose and my chin, and maybe a little bit on my forehead. Don't know yet. This is just an e.l.f. or a Wet n Wild brush. This is the CoverGirl Clean Matte Powder Foundation, and Classic Ivory. And we're just gonna go around my nose, my upper lip, because my makeup always likes to come off on my upper lip. I just started doing my makeup. I sweated a little bit. It's already coming off there. So just a little bit on my forehead. But still, overall, we look really glowy. So, and if you want to get up under your eyes a little bit, go for it. Next up we're going to do is brows. And let's see, I know I had my brow brush over here. Here it is. And it just has a brush on one end and a spoolie on the other. And we're just going to do some powder in my brows. And this is the e.l.f. brow palette in the shade Taupe. Yeah, I was making sure I had the shade name correct, because sometimes it's hard, because sometimes they don't name products very well. And you can do your brows however you like. I like to go a little bit darker with mine than what my natural hair color is, just because I always feel like I have no brows, because my hair is super light. So I like going a shade or two darker. But you do whatever feels right to you, because it is just makeup. It washes off. And like Bob Ross said, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents. And if you don't like the way it comes out, wash it off, try it again. There's no harm in that. Next up, I think I'm going to use a little bit of a glowy bronzer on top of the bronzer that we put on. And this is the Dr. Seuss Fox and Socks. And I had to press mine back together because it broke. And I'm just going to use, I think, this kind of more goldeny shade. I'm just going to press my brush into it, get off some of the excess, and just go over really my entire cheek with that. And look at how pretty that is. And just press my brush in, go over my cheek. It's almost like a cross between a bronzer and a highlight, and I think that's really, really pretty. We're just going to build it up a little. Make us look super golden. We're going to put a little bit on our nose just to look sun-kissed. A little, yeah. And then if you need to, if you got too intense like I did, just take your powder brush and just go over it. And if you need to go back in with your blush, do that too. No one's saying that you can't. Just like that. And go over your nose a little bit more and just make sure There we go. And that part of it's done. Next up, we are going to do lips. And I have two e.l.f. products here. I have the e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine. And in the shade Happy, which it looks like this. Love that. And then I have the e.l.f. O Face Lipstick in the shade Talk Dirty. And that's what that looks like. And I love both of these equally. Depends though. Since we're going with a more glowy look, I think we're going to go with the Hydrating Core Lip Shine. And it's just a super pretty nude. It's definitely a My Lips But Better shade for me. I love that. It's super glowy, so pretty. Next up, we're just going to do our mascara and then we are done. So I'm just going to curl my lashes. And if you wanted to apply falsies, you can do that. I'll show you. I might show y'all how. So we're just going to curl our lashes. And today I think I am going to wear the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect in Waterproof. Just like that. And then I am also going to put on, this is a NYX Slide On Glide On Stay On eye pencil in gold. It's like a metallic gold. And I'm just going to put that on my waterline. Just like that. And here's the finished look. Let me know what you think. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Toodles!